Okay, so we are live here. So we're going to start in 2 seconds.
Dr. Young, I forgot to tell you that Eric doesn't do a 3, 2, 1, 5. It's we're live. So he makes sure he's ready.
And don't call me Dr. Young. You can call me Dr. Inge or Inge, but I'm not a
You
medical doctor.
You said
Call me
Inga?
Inge, yes.
Inga.
Yeah.
All right, Inga.
Yeah. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm an NMD and an acupuncture physician. But so, with MDs, they say the last name and doctor and the last name. But I'm
So
not.
Inga. All right.
Welcome to the 30-minute hour. It's the weekly podcast where we discuss business, sports, politics, and whatever's on our mind. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs, your procrastination prevention partner. I'm also the author of The Discipline of Now, 12 Practical Principles to Overcome Procrastination. Joining me as always is my partner in crime. You know him as the super CEO, the business strategist extraordinaire, and all-around good guy, Ted Fells.
Greetings.
All right. And we have a special guest. We'll introduce her shortly. But one thing you need to know as you're watching us is that this is not your everyday podcast. You'll find that out here soon. We do things a little different here on the 30-minute hour.
A little different.
Yeah. We drink out of red cups and all that good stuff.
You saw the red cup today.
I saw that. Yeah, it's a different thing you got going on over there.
Something different. It's Monday.
All right, it's Monday. So
Red Cup Monday.
Red Cup Monday. I didn't get the memo apparently. I would have had my red cup if I had known. But for those of you that are watching us, hopefully you're still watching us. You can come to our 30-minute hour Facebook page and you can see all of previous video recordings. You can also go to the 30minutehour.net. That's our website. And you can get the download of all of our previous episodes to your favorite podcasting platform. You can see us on YouTube. You can check us out. And Ted, I'm excited about this coming Saturday with the What Now movement.
Yeah.
We've got the What Now movement virtual business summit taking place this Saturday from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
The second one.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And if you missed the last one,
last month. We did the last one last month.
That's right. That's right. And again, this is for career professionals, entrepreneurs, authors, to really help you to be able to better respond to life's curveballs. So it's going to be exciting. Make sure you're 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Go to the What Now movement Facebook page and make sure you join us. We look forward to seeing you. Ted, I've got something that's on my mind.
Please share what's on your mind, Eric.
Thank you, Ted. So, there's a doctor in the house. I figure we need to use some terms that come from her world.
Okay.
So there's something on my mind. So I want to talk to you. I want to pose the question to our followers. And by the way, for those of you watching us, make sure you type into the comments section. You can say hello. If you've got questions for us as we go, make sure you type them in the comments section. But I've got something on my mind. Are you allergic to success? That's right. Again, I want to use some terms that our guests could relate to. So are you allergic to success? So I came across this here not too long ago. Ted, in the world of distance running, it was always believed to be impossible to run the mile in under 4 minutes, right? Everybody said that you couldn't do it. It's impossible. It'll never happen. Thousands of years, literally, people tried and they failed. And out of the blue, this unknown, unheralded guy, his name was Roger Bannister, he announced to the local media that he was going to run a 4-minute mile. You know, the media and then all of these experts, they laughed him. They just laughed at him, laughed him out of the building. And then one day back in 1954, he shocked the world and did it. Right? So he did it. Before he did it, no one else had done it. He was the only one. But then over the next 12 months, the thing that everybody said was impossible was accomplished by 30 people. 30 people.
Wow.
And there's a lot of directions we could go with that story, but here's the big takeaway I want to focus on. Behavior is contagious. That's right. Behavior is contagious. And sadly, some people are allergic to success. They're allergic to success. So here's the thing. I mean, if you associate with the wrong people, you may catch their success allergies. Right? You have to be careful, right? They have success allergies. They're allergic. So, for example, like there's studies out there that say that you are 53% more likely to become obese if your close friend becomes obese. Right? It's that allergy thing. MIT conducted a study that said that the typical person's income is the combined average of their 3 closest associates.
So that's why my money is looking a little funny. It's the people that I'm around. Okay. About to get some more friends here.
You know, it's funny you say it. I just made friends with Oprah and Jay-Z and Warren Buffett. So that
should be good.
That's encouraging.
All right.
But no, but again, I mean, people have success allergies, and the people you hang around, they rub off on you. And so when Roger Bannister, he was asked why so many people were able to do this thing that everybody said was impossible after he did it. Here's what he said. He said, it was never a physical boundary. It was a mental one. Those words came directly from him. So you have to think about it. The people that we hang around, they impact how we think. How you think determines what you do. So hanging around the right people can help you to overcome any success allergies that you may have picked up. And so I mean, I even think about that with you and I and Dr. Sharon.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, she forces you to step up your game.
You have no choice.
Right. I mean, because she's at a level of excellence. And you think about when you're sending something out, you know, the standard is set.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, having the right people around you does.
Yeah.
And then we see the reverse of it all the time. Whenever you bring something up, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you develop these success allergies. But I wanted to bring that up and use those terms in honor of our guest that we're about to introduce. I know she can relate to allergies and all that good stuff.
Yes, I see where you're going with this. All right.
All right. So speaking of allergies, Ted.
Yes.
We're honored to have the creator of the allergy kit.
Okay.
That's right. She is somebody. She's born and raised.
I needed the creator of the allergy kit back in March, April though. Because right back then, that's when my allergies kick in every year. So I'm really interested to hear what's going to be said in this part.
Yeah, maybe she can talk about that too.
Yeah.
So she was born and raised in Sweden. She graduated as a chemical engineer, but nobody at the time hired women engineers, so she moved to Bangladesh and then to Venezuela. 1990, she came to the United States, where she went to the traditional school for Chinese medicine in Miami, and she graduated as an acupuncture physician. She opened up her own clinic and had amazing results, but one or another didn't respond as she expected. The patient would feel much better after the treatment, but the ailment would come back, mostly aches and pains, and digestive problems. This wasn't acceptable to her. So she started a quest to find out what the root was, and found that allergies played a big role in these patients. And she took courses to learn how to remedy this. So 1998, she started treating for allergies with a system called NAET, and it was an excellent protocol. She had great results, but it took a lot of time and many visits. So many patients didn't finish their treatments due to the lack of time and money. And many families had more than one child and allergies themselves. So around 2000, she started to experiment and research other methods to speed up the process. By now, allergies had started to be more and more common with many people living far away from a practitioner. So she started to work on a protocol and a system the patients could do themselves. And in 2006, the allergy kit was born and launched on the internet. Please join me in welcoming to the 30-minute hour, Dr. Inga Young.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. It is certainly an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. So let's get started. So what originally inspired you to pursue a career as an acupuncture physician?
Well, in Venezuela, I had a workshop and in ceramics. So I was an artisan and artist, and I was going to pursue it when I came to Miami, but I fell and broke my wrist in 5 places. So that was out. And I've always liked healing and acupuncture. I used to do hands-on healing in Venezuela for fun almost, but it worked. So when I came here, then and that happened, I went with all my screws in the arm and signed up for the acupuncture school. And I never regretted that. It was very hard in the beginning, but it's a great system.
So that's interesting. So that if you hadn't fallen and hurt your wrist, you probably wouldn't be where you are now.
No, it's true. I don't know what I would have done.
Wow.
So it's funny how life pushes you sometimes hard.
Wow. Yeah, and it also shows you a lot of times everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to. I think it's important to trust the process. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So if you could go back in time to when you first started with the knowledge you have now, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I would start to look for somebody to work together with instead of start my own, because it's expensive to have your own clinic. It's hard, and if you can work together with somebody, I think if you really search, do good interviews with people, you can find somebody that you could go together with, and start to work yourself up, learn all the things you have to learn, because when you go out from school, at least I didn't know anything about economic or licenses or anything like that. So I think it's good to go be with somebody.
Okay.
And somebody that you can complement with. But when 25 years ago, it was like chiropractors, they were almost afraid of acupuncturists. It was competition. And I think if we can put competition aside, we're much better off.
Yeah. Okay. Were there any role models that you had? Was anybody that you looked at that said, hey, you know what, I want to be like this person?
I had a mentor, my teacher, maybe, but I mean, he was much younger than me. He was probably 20 or 25 years younger than I was.
Okay.
But, and he was great. He started when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little older.
Okay. All right. So what advice do you have for, I mean, it sounds like you've kind of touched on it already, but are there any other like words of advice you have for someone who's watching us now and they're considering going into being some type of physician? What advice do you have for that person?
I think they should definitely follow their intention, their intuition with what they want to do. And I think they should also learn a lot things. I mean, there are so many different things, and just see what they really, really like to do. And if they want to specialize, which is popular, or I mean, I ended up with the allergies, or if they want to do like a GP, but in acupuncture, that's fine. Or if they want to become a chiropractor for that matter, just try to find out what really talks to them and do what they like. Because I love Chinese medicine, and it's a never ending, you can learn and learn and learn, you're never full learned.
Wow, and you feel like that talked to you. You said they should find something that talks to them, which I think is very interesting. You feel like that talked to you from the very beginning. You just kind of knew this was where you were supposed to be.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know we kind of touched on this in the introduction, but talk about what inspired you to focus on allergies. I know at one point you said you're mainly focusing on acupuncture and the kind of the symptoms, but then you started really focusing on the allergies. Talk about what really made you make that pivot.
When I found the link with allergies and so many, not only digestive or skin problems, I mean, headaches, a lot of people, they don't put headaches or migraines together with allergies. A lot of them can come from synthetic what are they called? Artificial sweeteners. They can get migraines. I think lots of people have migraines from that, for example. On the other hand, and you can be allergic to absolutely anything. So I think you're totally right. You can be allergic to success too. But the system I have, it's also innate, is about the same thing, is that you treat, for example, the first treatment is for egg, chicken, milk, and vitamin C, because some vegans, they say, well, I don't eat any protein, I don't eat any eggs. Well, we came from an egg. So it is basic protein anyway. And you need protein, whether it comes from plants or from animals. And when we're born, we get milk. And then we get vitamin C when we start to eat, and so forth. So it's a certain system to build up, so you can start to build up your immune system, because if you cannot absorb the nutrients from the foods, you get nutrient deficient, your immune system goes down, and it's a never-ending vicious cycle. So that's why you cannot just treat yourself for cats, for example. If you have an allergy to cat, you have to do the basic treatments first for yourself to build it up your system.
Interesting. So, no, Ted, you had some questions offline about allergies and all that. I know you wanted to get in.
Yeah, so every year I deal with allergies, right? And it's always kind of early March to April timeframe, like every year. And then my mother, she says that I got it from her because she deals with the allergies as well. So I'm just I expect that, early March, I'm gonna be sleepy all the time. My eyes are gonna water. I'm gonna sneeze, and and that's just every year that happens for me. So I mean, is there any recommendation that you can give me so I can stop buying Claritin and Zyrtec every year? Or
yeah, you should start to treat with the allergy kit before, I mean, like now, or in the winter time before the environmental allergies start. So you start with the basic. In my kit, there are 7 basic vials, and then I have an environmental kit that is for pollen and all these things that are flying around. And so it's important to do the basic first. But no, many people, they get relief. I just had one person who called me and said, I'm so happy this spring I didn't have any runny nose or itchy eyes for the first time in many, many years. So he was very happy.
Yeah, I have to check into that, because this year, with everything that was going on with COVID, anytime you sneeze or cough, everybody's looking at you, and you got to be like, no, I got allergies. Like every year, my allergies happen in March and April. Like, yeah, sure, you get allergies.
So that can be helped, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk about the allergy kit. So in 2006, you launched this allergy kit. Can you just really describe it for our followers and talk about how specifically it helps people?
Okay, so it is, first of all, people ask what it is if you take anything. This is a kit with homeopathized water in glass vials. Probably have some around here. And so you don't open them up. They come in glass vials like this. And you don't open them, so you can use them over and over. So you can use them for your whole family too. So you treat with a laser. So you hold the vials. You use saliva and just lick on the saliva lick on a Q-tip and put it in the belly button, because that makes whatever you have in the saliva is like a laboratory in a way. Everything that happens in the body is on the saliva, and putting it in the belly button, which is the center of the body and center of all the organs. It is like a snapshot. So it's easier for the body to realize what it's supposed to do. So by shining the laser through the vials and then over the head, and the description is on the internet, so it's very easy. You can see the procedure. So by doing that, it balances, because an allergy is an imbalance. And by doing this treatment, it balances the body so that it will recognize that what you're treating for is not an enemy. And so it's like homeopathy. It means like cures like. So if you have an allergy, you have a certain frequency, and that same frequency is in the vial. So then that will even out the frequency, so you are not going to react anymore.
Wow. And so, I mean, this sounds like it can be something that's totally life-changing. I mean,
for some people it is, yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you have a couple of stories of people that struggled with problems all their life? Now all of a sudden they take your kit and they're just on a different place. Do you have any?
Yeah.
I can talk, for example, mention about a little girl that she came to me, or her parents brought her. She was 3 years old, very, very small. She had ear infections, and then she got antibiotics. After 2-3 weeks, she got a strep infection. She got antibiotics again. So this went on month after month. And she was allergic to milk, which is one of the things why kids get ear infections. So I treated her. After I had treated her for milk, she was never in the hospital or at the doctor for ear infections, at least. And she started to grow and thrive. It was, you know, after the treatment, you could almost see how she was relieved. It was kind of really amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
I have another thing that was also like magic. I had a patient who used to come in for acupuncture for his neck, and then one day he came in, he crawled in almost. He had a sciatica attack.
Oh yeah.
He had never had that before. And I did 4 different acupuncture treatments on him. Nothing helped. So I asked him, do you drink coffee? Because coffee is an irritant for the gallbladder, and the sciatica is on the gallbladder meridian. And he said, oh, it's funny that you ask that, because this morning it was cold, even though it's South Florida. It was in the winter. And he gave me a double Cuban coffee. And like 2 hours later, he turned around to pick up an empty box on a shelf a little higher than him. He got the box and couldn't move. So I had to bring him into me. So I treated him for coffee, and the pain went away like this.
Wow.
So there are many things that allergies have to do with that we don't think about. I mean, who would think that sciatica is because he had coffee, for example? There are many things like that.
That's interesting.
Okay. And so you, in this kit actually helps people to even determine what they're allergic to.
Well, the basic kit is because since they are what most people are allergic to. I have met one person during 22 years who was not allergic to anything, and he was from Jamaica, grew up in the boonies, everything was organic, no vaccinations. That's the only person I've ever met that didn't have any allergies. But otherwise, because we have vaccinations, for example, the fourth vial is 4 vaccinations, which is something that it's an energy that stays with us for the rest of our lives. And it can interfere with a lot of things. We know that with the kids on the spectrum, for example, it definitely has something to do. So they often have a definite change after doing that treatment. So by treating the basic, as I said, so you build up your immune system, then you can start to treat other things, like whatever it is, you know, if it's peanuts or fish or people, that's another thing. You know, we are allergic to dogs. We are allergic to people too.
Oh, I know some people that I'm allergic to, so I knew it was some, Eric. There was some of these folks out here.
Because some people, for example, in families with either, I had, as a matter of fact, I had a girl one time, she was adopted and she hated her adopted mother. She loved her mother, but not her. And she said she had a classmate that she hated. She said, she's always so mean to me. I treated her for it. And then when she came in a couple of times later, she said, oh no, my mother has changed. She's so good.
Really?
And she never fought with that girl again.
So it was an issue with the little girl?
The energy, yeah, with the energy from the other person. So if 2 siblings fight, for example, it's often because of an allergy to them. It's just we perhaps don't sneeze, we just get angry.
At that person, wow.
Yes.
So, wow, I've never heard that before. So you're saying you can be allergic to someone's energy?
Yes. That's why, you know, you say be allergic to success. Why not? Why not?
Wow. So if you're allergic to...
As a matter of fact, I have a vial for that, for success.
You do?
Yes, I do.
So if you're allergic to this person, and then you treat, like if I was allergic to Eric, right?
Hypothetically speaking,
right? Like whenever I'm around Eric, I just start to itch or something. Right?
No, we don't react. At least so far, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it? I mean,
in condition, but we get angry. It's more of an energy of fighting.
Yeah. And so if I were angry, I mean, if there's a way that you would treat me that would help me to be able to deal with being angry around Eric.
Yes, if it is a specific person, I can make a vial for that person.
Oh, I'm gonna talk to you after this. It's not Eric, but I might need a couple of vials for you to create for a couple people.
But I have a people vial, and it seems to help for a lot of people too. Sometimes it's more specific, and then they need a special vial. But you can always try the people vial first.
Oh, that's great.
So I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you know, people that are career professionals, it could be someone that they work with that they're allergic to and don't know it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So you're gonna have people calling in, and everybody's gonna need these vials to take back to work when they go back to the office. Your business is gonna just skyrocket now.
No, but I know I had a partner, but he passed away. It would be 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And that happened to us, that sometimes we just started to fight and we treated each other for each other. And then that's
the same sound that I hear Eric make sometimes. Can you make that sound one more time? Oh my goodness, I get it. Woo.
So yeah, I mean, this is like game changing.
Oh yeah.
That you can actually be allergic. You think about it, it explains a lot.
Right? Yes, it does. It really does.
Because I mean, I've had time myself where there are certain people I'm around, and you just feel a different way when you're around that person.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe it's just an energy thing.
Yeah.
So, and again, you have a way to determine if that person is allergic to another person.
Well, how much time do we have? Because you can learn to do muscle testing. I have muscle testing on my website, but there are many more systems to test. One of them is to make the O-ring. They say you have to practice. You hold the fingers very slightly together. You ask for a yes, and then it stops. You ask for a no, and it goes through. So you can ask, "Am I allergic?" and get a yes or a no. Is this food good for me? If it's strong, it's good. If it's weak, it's not. But you have to practice. But it's not difficult. It's just to practice. But it's the best way. It's really to do muscle testing is really the best way to know. You can ask any questions. You can ask your kids, did you do your homework?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can do the muscle testing also, but that too takes a little practice. But to learn muscle testing, I think if everybody could learn how to do muscle testing, it would be a great help in a lot of situations, both with people and food and telling the truth.
Wow. Yeah, this has been fascinating. So we're here. This is the 30-minute hour podcast. We told you it's not your everyday podcast. We're live with Dr. Inge Young. I just found out I may be allergic to TED.
I was allergic to you first, Eric. So.
I need to figure out how to move my square around Zoom. We gotta
to put some more social distance, some more space between our
Exactly.
squares is what we need.
This explains a lot, though. But we were talking off the air. There's this movement about going to the plant-based diet and that being the solution to all your problems. So you're saying that might not even solve the problem.
No, not at all. First of all, I don't think, some people, they can be vegans. And I think like the Indians, I think they have another blood group. They're probably more AB than we are. But it's not that you need a steak every day, but some animal protein, if it's fish or once a week or once every other week, but it's something with the vitamin Bs, for example, some of them that we need animal protein. And there are so many people, they say, oh, but I eat so healthy, I eat so clean. Well, if you're allergic to spinach or kale, for example, which is many people are because of the oxalates in these greens, it's not healthy. If you don't clear the allergies to it. Lots of people are allergic to nightshades, which are, among other things, peppers, tomatoes, potatoes, lots of nightshades. And they're all good. They all taste good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're allergic to them, it's not good. So the best way is really to write a food diary. Write down in the morning how you feel when you get up. Write down everything you eat. Write down how you feel in the evening and how the day went. To figure out what you may be allergic to, what in your food.
That's interesting. So to start a food diary.
Yes, that's what I recommend. To figure out what you don't feel good from. If you get bloated or gassy, for example, that's one sign that you have a reaction.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be eczema or headache. It can be something as simple as just though I'm bloated all the time. So what is it that makes you bloated? For example, to take weight, which is very common in this country because of the diet, of course, but also when you have allergies, you often crave what you are allergic to. So by eliminating allergies and eliminating, of course, certain things like wheat, because that is very hard to digest and today it contains a lot of glyphosate, which is a toxin, but it's classified as an antibiotic, as a matter of fact. And sugar, the same thing. It's also toxic. And what is it? Average American eats 250 pounds or more of sugar a year. I don't eat any. Who eats mine?
I may know some folks that have been eating some of that sugar that you've been missing.
I think two of these Zoom squares, we may be helping you out with the
Yeah,
sugar.
I think we covering your sugar well. You don't
But
worry, your sugar's not being wasted.
But you know, it is the worst you can do for your
Yeah.
health.
Oh, wow.
It is the worst, is the sugar, really.
Okay.
Because 1 in 3 has diabetes or pre-diabetes here in this country. So,
Yeah.
and most of them don't know it.
So no birthday cake for you.
No, I don't even like cake. Lucky me, but
And you want a birthday steak.
yeah.
Put a candle in the steak. Okay.
Yes, I prefer that.
And I realize we've kind of talked through this, but can you just summarize for the folks watching this? Like, what is it that makes your allergy kit different from other allergy relief products or other allergy kits that are out there?
You can do it yourself. You can treat your whole family with one kit. You don't have to buy, I mean, you can buy extra vials because it's not enough what's in the basic kit, but you can use it for the whole family. My mission is for people to wake up and take responsibility for their own health, among other things, by stopping eating sugar. And to understand that it depends on them. It doesn't depend on a doctor. He's not responsible for you. You are responsible for yourself. And understand that. And start to change your lives, change your lifestyle, and read and learn about health and food. So the kit, the difference is you can treat many people with one kit and you can do it yourself. That's the difference.
Yeah, the do-it-yourself piece, that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say is, of all the allergies that you see, like what's, if you had to rank them, like what's the top 2 or 3 that you run across?
Sugar, wheat, and what would I say for the next one? Well, eggs is very common. Eggs and milk, and they're among the most common. I mean, soy is very common, and what more? My brain stopped.
Okay.
So you're saying that wheat is not good?
No. First of all, it is nowadays, I think it's GMO food. It used to be only hybridized, but now there are so many changes in the wheat from just 70 years ago. And it changes the DNA, it changes so many things in the body that, for example, it is the cause of a lot of digestive problems, like, serious problems. Celiac disease is one. And even IBS and Crohn's, they should never, ever eat wheat, even if it's organic, because it is hard to digest. It's very hard to digest. So even if you're not allergic to it, it should not be eaten more than maybe once a week. But here, everybody eats, 3-4 times a day they consume wheat. And it is just too much. And the wheat is different. The bread is different. In the old times, the baker came to the bakery at 2:00 in the morning and put the dough to rise, and it rose twice. So the gluten wasn't so, I don't know what to call it, fresh. But now they just, in 2 hours, the bread is ready.
So if you have to have bread, what bread do you recommend?
100% dry, but there are also millet bread and spelt bread and all kinds of other breads. I eat my sweet, they call it crackers here, but for me it's bread. It's Swedish, it's wasa that you can get here. It's like crackers, but it's 100% dry, and they are hard and crispy.
Because I'm just asking this for a friend. I know a friend that always, from time to time, likes to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So for that friend,
Well, he should get, well, he can probably eat, because there is something called Ezekiel, which is sprouted bread. Even if it has wheat, it doesn't seem to be, for some people, they cannot have that either. But he can try with Ezekiel bread, which is sprouted bread. There are other breads also that are sprouted, and they are better.
so he should have peanut butter and jelly on sprouted bread.
Yeah, he can try that.
I'll make sure I let him know.
Yeah, I think you just really helped his friend. So. But no, and that's interesting because there's such a movement to get everybody eating wheat bread. It's healthier, and
No, nowadays it's this craze about gluten free.
yeah.
Everything is gluten free. Oranges, milk, and butter. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's not for me. To me, what I see, it's not that they're allergic to gluten. Everybody is not allergic to gluten all of a sudden. They're allergic to the toxins in the wheat. It's not the gluten, it's the toxins.
The toxins. Okay.
And then, of course, people with celiac, they are definitely allergic to wheat, and they should never have it.
Interesting.
Wow.
Now, I wanted to shift gears because you've got a book. Yes,
I have a book about autism.
Mm-hmm.
Because autism, these kids, when they have temper tantrums and meltdowns, it's not their fault. It's not that they're not well behaved, yet they have an allergic reaction. And it can be to food, it can be paint on the walls, it can be chemicals in the carpet, it can be so many things. But wheat is often milk too, but wheat is one of the worst things for these kids. Often when they take them off of wheat, they get eye contact again, and they get less temper tantrums, they behave better. Wheat is a big, big thing when it comes to autism. But they're allergic to a lot of things.
So that's interesting because, we're in society and the culture now, there's such a rush to medicate, right? So,
yes.
The child is misbehaving, Ritalin, there's this, there's that. What you're saying, it could just be they're allergic to something.
Yes, absolutely. I had one kid that he was 5 years when he came, and he could hardly speak. I mean, very, very bad. He was in a special school. It's a football player. I've got his name down here, who has a kid who is autistic. So he made a big school for these kids. And after very shortly, he started to talk. He used to have 7 temper tantrums a day, and they disappeared. He was often he would just use certain clothes that went away. And the father brought him back a couple of years ago. And when I said something about autism, he said, he never had autism. He went to a special school. The father totally forgot about all that. No, he didn't.
Wow.
But he did.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
That's great.
So the book is titled Finding Your Lost Child, Understanding Allergies, Nutrition, and Detox in Autism.
Yes.
And so basically the thing that people will walk away with after they read the book is
that there are solutions. There are things they can do. It's just, I don't know, I think it's getting a little better, but I know many people, many parents, they don't get really any guidelines. They get Ritalin or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is really not the solution. And then they go to behavior school and behavior classes and all that. It doesn't matter if they are having a reaction every time. How does that behavior teaching do anything?
Yeah, wow.
Okay, man. So I mean, you've got a lot of excellent things going on. I mean, what's next on the horizon for you?
Well, I just keep going. I'm trying to get more help out to people who buy the kit, because some people, they think that, okay, they buy the first kit and then they are free from everything, but that's not so. Many people have a lot of allergies. The allergy kit is just the beginning, and they have to change lifestyle. So I am working on doing some kind of webinars that can explain a little better what people have to do or should do to have optimal results, and try to teach them about lifestyle, because it's not only what, they say we are what we eat, but we are what we absorb. So that's,
we are what we absorb. That is tweetable.
That's right.
No, I agree 100%.
So that just kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier of not just what you're eating, but what you may be smelling, what may be in your environment, just all of that. I think if you could touch on that again for some of the folks that have just joined us, because I think that's really key, that I think a lot of us are making allergies only based on, one or two factors.
yeah, and I mean, there are so many different kind of reactions from allergies. Like we talked about the autistic children, they all have digestive problems because they have allergies, but they have allergies to more than food, smells and noise and all kind of sort of that. But other people, I mean, the smells, the perfumes and chemicals in detergents, all that, many people suffer. And the people who use it, they don't even think about it. And they might suffer themselves, but don't have a clue that what it's from. I mean, it's to be aware of what you use as cleaners in your house, what you wash your hair with. And for example, if a person is sensitive to wheat, well, a lot of makeup has wheat in it, for example. I mean, there are so many things. That corn is another thing that is also in many things. So, and they react in different ways. For example, I had a girl who, also a 3-year-old, who had eczema in her whole, over from top to toe. And her mother didn't want to do the kit. She wanted me to do it on her. So I treated her for the first vial twice, and she still was, nothing happened with her eczema. So the third time she came, I tested her for the different things in the first vial, which is egg and chicken, egg yolk, egg white, chicken, milk, and vitamin C, and some other vitamins. And she was allergic only to chicken. And the mother said, "Oh, that's all I give her."
Oh boy.
So I treated her for the chicken and told her not to give her that for a couple of weeks. And when she came back, she was totally free. Her skin was nice and smooth. So sometimes you have to go deeper.
Wow.
So yeah, Eric. So you may have to cut back on those wings, man, if you start having some issues. It could be the chicken.
Well, and then we have the other thing. I mean, I recommend everybody would feel better if they start to eat organic. And I often hear, "I don't believe in organic." That's not true. Well, they can just try and see. And nowadays, it's not that much difference in price with organic and non-organic. And there are certain things that are very toxic, like spinach, for example, it's sprayed a lot. And when it comes to fruits, strawberries is another thing that is, they spray them, and strawberries grow on the ground. So they kind of soak up all that spray, all that glyphosate that they spray them with. And apples, peaches, grapes, these are all fruits and berries that are very, very toxic. So people might, I met one person, that was in Venezuela. One person, she said, "I thought I ate so healthy. I ate all these fruits and veggies," and she got so sick. I mean, her liver was in a bad shape before she realized it came from all the toxins from what she ate.
Wow. So what fruits do you recommend?
Well, and they have to be organic.
They have to be organic. Okay.
Yes, they have to be organic, and so it doesn't really matter what you eat. It's what you like, and not to eat too many fruits that are too sweet because that brings your sugar up also.
Mm.
So has to be balance.
Well, you have just thrown off my whole diet. I guess I got to throw away these grapes, this peanut butter and jelly sandwich on this wheat bread. I mean,
Yes, that has to go.
oh man.
Do you drink sodas too?
I try not to drink too many sodas. I try to, do
One is one too many.
one soda is one too many.
One soda has about 30 spoons of sugar. 30, yeah, 30, 9, 10, I don't know in grams. It's like 30, 35 grams of sugar in it. So think about that. And if somebody just stops drinking soda, stop eating sugar, I mean, really try, and don't eat artificial sweeteners. Use stevia instead. For example, stevia or something called monk fruit. There are substitutes, but they're natural. But if you stop eating sugar and drinking sodas and cut down, hopefully eliminate the wheat, you will lose weight very quickly.
Mm.
And you have to drink water, but it has to be real, filtered water, or preferably filtered water.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think you're spot on. I mean, I've had several work colleagues over the years who lost weight, and they swear up and down the only thing he really did was stop drinking sodas.
Yes.
Man, they would drop like 20, 25 pounds, and they would tell me the
Yes.
main thing they did was stop drinking sodas.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And if you start eating organic also, you will feel better. Your digestive system will thank you. Your skin get better. Lots of things get better. Your liver can breathe.
We want our liver to breathe for sure.
Absolutely.
So what's your normal diet like daily? Like what kind of
Well,
stuff?
I eat eggs. I make mostly omelets in the morning. I never liked cereal, or because when I eat that kind of breakfast, half an hour after I am starving.
Mm.
So I'm better off not eating until lunch. But if I eat, I'm hungry, I have an omelette with organic eggs. And if you know the difference between an organic egg and a non-organic egg, you'll be surprised. It's really a big difference. And what you pay in difference, it doesn't really matter. If you buy a box of eggs for $3 or for $6, it's not a big difference. Eggs are cheap. And yeah, I do eat vegetables a lot, but I also eat meat, chicken, fish, all that. And often I muscle test myself. And sometimes it can be the combination. And I eat with at least 4 hours different, in between meals, and 12 to 16 hours between dinner and breakfast. So that because when you sleep, that's when the digestive system works hard.
Yeah.
And if you eat just before you sleep, it's not very healthy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
for example, for people who want to lose weight, if they can have a small piece of fruit and a big glass of water about half an hour before they eat, they are not so ravenously hungry. And they, and also chew their food, put down the fork and knife in between, just to, eat slowly. That helps a lot too, because often people eat and they eat so fast, the brain doesn't have time to realize that the stomach is full.
This has been truly educational. I mean, all the allergies and just really the heightened awareness to this whole issue. So What's the best way for our followers to connect with you?
They can go to my website, theallergykit.com.
Theallergykit.com.
And then they can contact me through the Allergy Kit.
Fantastic. What's the best way for them to get a hold of your book?
Well, there is a Kindle version on Amazon. I am going to put up a link on my website.
Okay. Fantastic. And the book is titled Finding Your Lost Child, Understanding Allergies, Nutrition, and Detox in Autism. All right. So we are now going to go around the horn. This is the time in the show where everybody gives that final thought to leave the people with. So Dr. Young, we'll start with you. What is your final thought?
Wake up, people. Check your lifestyle. Realize that you have to take your responsibility for yourself and your family in your own hands. Don't rely on doctors, or when it comes to it, you are the one, you have the intuition, you can know when you need to go to the doctor, really need. I mean, if you break an arm, of course. And there are things, I'm not saying that doctors are bad, but I think if you're more aware of what you do, what you eat, and what you do, what you exercise, lifestyle, you are better off.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Ted.
Yeah, another tough act to follow. We learned so much today. Everything I was thinking about eating when I get home has changed. I need to think about what I'm going to have now because I can't eat wheat and I got to go organic. So I'm going to need to go and dump everything out of my refrigerator and go shopping, it sounds like. But just kind of going back to Eric, to, your rant early on about being allergic to success, and, and just think the whole thing around just the people that are in your close circle and how important that is, right? And it was just interesting. You think about that, and you think about what Inga had said about about being allergic to people as well, like how all that kind of ties together. I just found that really interesting, of just kind of make sure you got people with good energy around you, whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to, like I said, lose weight, or you're trying to, improve in other areas. And then if you're allergic to them, you contact Inga and she will help you to find a way to help you with that energy that they may be, that negative energy that you may be getting from them. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
And love yourself.
Absolutely.
And love yourself.
Absolutely.
Love yourself so you can love others.
Absolutely.
Because that's what we need today.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, Ted, I mean, I agree with you as well, as far as this, the idea that you can literally be allergic to people, and it certainly is critical to be around the right people, but that there's actually a health component. And I found that to be fascinating. But my main thing when we talk about this whole around the horn piece is awareness, right? And I heard a quote, and it was something to the effect of, you're controlled by whatever's outside of your awareness, right? It's controlling you. You don't even know it. So like for me, like I went into this talk with the good doctor thinking about pollen, right? I get allergies like you, Ted. I get allergies, I get sneezy, but it could be something totally different. It could be something I'm eating. It could be a person. It could.
Right.
So like my awareness is heightened, and I think that's just the key, is to really just heighten your awareness to those things that could be a stumbling block.
Oh,
and I would have thought, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go to this plant-based diet. I could be allergic to something in the plant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, that's my takeaway. We just really need to be aware of those things that can hold us back. And this has been truly educational. And I know when my wife hears this and watches this, she's gonna be wanting to order a bunch of allergy kits and for us to really make a whole lot of changes here in the Twigs household. I can just tell you that.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, it's definitely, Dr. Young, it's been an honor to have you on the show. And then one more time, can you just throw out your website? So, because I know people are going to want to get a hold of you and get the allergy kit.
No, www.theallergykit.com.
All right. www.theallergykit.com. Make sure you get yours today. Again, this has been an awesome episode of the 30-Minute Hour podcast. Don't forget that on Wednesday at 6 o'clock, we're coming back at you again. It's the 30-Minute Hour live on lockdown. That's where we present the humorous side of social distancing, the lighter side of social distancing. You can let your hair down, unwind, unplug. So don't forget to join us on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And like I said, don't forget to join us this coming Saturday at 10 o'clock for the What Now Movement Virtual Summit. A lot going on. Basically, Ted and I are doing a different show every day. That's
right. The longer you keep us locked down, the more content we're going to come up with.
Exactly.
So you all better hope things open up soon, or we'll be on every day.
People are like, please come up with a vaccine, please.
Man, who needs the big break? You make it. We just set up Zoom and just get it going.
Absolutely. No, we love doing this, obviously, and we look forward to seeing you on one of the many shows we've got coming up.
That's right.
That's right. Until next time, have a great one. Don't forget to check us out on the 30minutehour.net.
Thank you.